Hello everyone and welcome back to the 2020.1 South African simiGTc series. This time the IGTC challenge, part of the championship. Round 1 at Bathurst using Corsa Competizione and the new Intercontinental GT DLC. Very excited, and also joined by Daniel Haynes. Welcome, Daniel.
Yeah, how cool is this? We got a new sim, new track, new cars, a few new drivers. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, so we very much a learning phases for us as well. Live streaming Corsa Competizione for the first time. So bear with us if there are any niggles. We'll iron them out for the next round. But
yeah,
I think
had a few.
Yeah, it's building up to this. Dan and I have been working furiously, frantically behind the scenes to get this going. But anyway. And those of you watching the YouTube live chat, if you could just comment on our audio levels, that would be great. Just to understand if we're too soft or too loud, and then we will adjust accordingly.
Obviously, in the meantime, these guys have been going at it for 24 minutes. We're coming up towards the end of qualifying. And as expected, some very, very hot times. It's currently Jadwal's in pole position with a 2 minutes 0.1. Incredibly quick time, but Langevelt's less than 1/10 behind. Esser another 10th behind. So very, very quick times for our first round in ACC.
And this race breaking the record for how many cars we have in one race as well. I'm just trying to work out how many cars we actually have on the server at the moment. Just gonna have to have a look here.
Problem.
It's a nice problem to have. Yeah. So we've got 31 cars on the server so far.
Yeah, and that's 31 races as well, because there's no commentary cars this time.
Yeah, there we go. We actually do have over 50 entrants for this season, but of course the load shedding taking its toll, no doubt.
Yeah, I think Bash was supposed to have load shedding this evening, but he's just managed to scrape through with stage 1 load shedding instead of stage 2, so he's the only person grateful for ESCOM tonight, and it might get him a pole position.
And Stanley just commenting that Dan, you're a bit too soft, so I've just turned you up a bit in Discord. Hopefully that'll sort that problem out.
I might not like that, Jason.
And Rian saying your voice is too smooth. Dan.
Oh, that's all right. I've already had a couple of scotches, that's why.
Oh, there we go. But otherwise...
Okay, so 5 minutes to go. We're looking incredibly tight at the top for the top 3. But there's quite a few gaps lower down, so people can, with a decent lap, can jump right up into the top 10, I would have thought. Obviously, starting near the front when there's 32 cars, and the Nightmare Mountain Pass is where you want to be if you can. Less cars to avoid. Bit of a bittersweet track, Bathurst. You either have an awesome race or you want to forget about it. I certainly know that feeling.
Yeah, I've to this day I've not had a successful race at Bathurst, so very, very much good luck to everybody out there.
I attempted the 12-hour at the weekend, and let's not talk about that. Yeah. So yeah, it's one of those tracks, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you can just be proud to get to the end of whatever race you're doing, and I think you should just be happy with that.
Yeah.
So.
One touch on the wall, and that's the end. Sometimes not even your fault, really. You come around the corner, another car spins directly in front of you. Not much you can do about it. So we're hoping for a clean race today, but quite a variation in lap times already we're seeing. So it won't be long before back markers start becoming an issue. First race in ACC, we're bound to have a whole load of new things to commentate compared to how familiar we are with the Assetto Corsa. So different things to look at. No tyre strategy, obviously, but completely different. We might get some rain. You never know.
Yeah, the forecast does show a bit of rain. When that will come in the race, we don't know.
Maybe a little bit like a real race a couple of weekends ago. Got lightning storm threatening, and it literally rained when they're on the podium. Maybe we'll get a bit in the race. And obviously a night start, so that'll be really interesting. Our first night start on Sim Race South Africa. We'll see how they cope under the lights. So who have we got new? Who's in fifth position? Wilkins. Is he a new driver?
That's Charles Wilkin. He, I think, he just signed up today. We're doing very well already. He's clearly been prepping for this race before. Doing a lot more prep before signing up. That type of approach. Interesting.
On debut, 5th position. I'm very impressed. We'll be looking to see how he goes in a 90-minute race. Wesley Ferrand in 7th. Mark van Rensburg up in 6th. Also a great showing. Relatively new driver. Lawrence Sterner in 8th position. Chris Heinecker, an old-timer, in 9th. He's been doing quite a bit of ACC driving, I believe, so he'll probably be quite good in the race, I'm sure. My old teammate Rudy Moraes is in 12th. He has done literally no practice for this, apart from the 12 hours in AMG in iRacing. So obviously learning the track's a bit of a help for him, because he's already got himself quite high up the grid. Mick Hodgson's back. He missed the last race. Good to see him back. I think that's his first race for the 2020 season. In 17th position currently, though.
Yeah. So we still got Jad Watt on provisional pole position by just 0.096 of a second from Charles Langeveld. And Zaire Essa is right there as well.
He's been away on sabbatical for a while, I understand. Nice to have him back.
Yeah, there we go. Great to see that name back at Simra South Africa. Last time we saw that name, I think it was in the GTR 2 days.
How did he get on back then?
He dominated, of course.
Oh, okay.
And Quade Claasen's looking strong in 4th position for ATK as well. Charles Wilkin in 5th position.
I've been told that Charles is an SA rally champion. What does that mean, chat? Johan, fill us in. That sounds impressive. I'm very intrigued. That might explain the 5th position on debut.
If this is the Charles Wilkin, then he's more than just a rally champion. I think he's done all sorts of circuit racing as well. Touring cars and a number of different disciplines.
So our old timers in the top might be quaking in their boots a little bit with a real life driver in their midst. Currently is second behind though, so he's got a little bit of time to find, but qualifying is literally nothing in Bathurst. It doesn't mean a lot.
And now we look at Devot now in Aston Martin. Great to see the Aston Martin brand in the South African SimGT series.
What a great looking car that is.
Currently in 13th position. And just behind your teammate there, Rudy Moret. And Hugo de Wit just behind him 14th. Henry Roux in 15th. Govender in 16th. And Hodgson, one of the favourites in the SimGT series, in 17th.
There's a whole little patch of Aston Martins, aren't they? Look, 13th, 14th, 15th, 17th, 18th position. They'll be going around together. At least they'll look cool. So confirmed pole for Bashir Jadwat with a 2 minutes 0.129. Interestingly, the track record in real life on this track is set by the Audi, and we've got no Audis there, so maybe someone missed a trick. We've got first Audis in 11th place, but the track record time is 1:59.2 in 2018. So maybe someone should have put a bit more time into the Audi. Of course, it didn't do particularly well in this year's actual Bathurst race. If we're going on this year's form, we'd expect Mark in the Bentley to run away with it. Okay, so apparently Charles used to race the N4 Subaru and the S2000 rally cars. Awesome. He should definitely sign up for the Dirt Rally Sim Race South Africa Championship.
Yeah, absolutely. It reminds me, I've got to get involved in there as well.
I'm currently leading that, so
oh, wow,
a real life rally driver to join, to be honest. So maybe you can just not tell him that. That'd be great. Okay, so we got a parade lap. I understand this is all going to be new.
Yeah, this is all new for us, and according to my testing last night, we should have a full pace lap. The car is limited to 90 kilometers an hour, And then
So
I think
nice and
it's
slow.
just before the last corner, they sort of go double grid, and then they start the
Okay.
race from green light. That's the
Yep.
theory, yes.
We've got our fingers crossed, I think. Timer ticks down and it suddenly goes dark, is it?
Yes, we should be starting in the dark, so the server time should be 5 o'clock when we move over to the race session.
Yeah, oh, it's
As
working.
it does now, and it's done. It's beautiful, look at that.
Check that out. Put your lights on.
Yeah. Now, Dan, have you joined in spectator mode now as well?
I'm in spectator
Okay,
mode,
great.
yeah.
So we shouldn't have cars that we need to get off the grid, as far as I understand.
No. I'll
Anyways,
try and keep up with your cameras.
yeah, I would just mention the names as I talk, and you can do the
So we're
same.
going single file, aren't we?
We are going single file, yeah. And then towards the end of the lap, we will double up for the race start, and then off we go.
Obviously, the first corner is called Hell Corner. That's hopefully it won't be Hell Corner, but we'll find out at the end of the parade lap.
So we've got a 1.5 minutes remaining before we start the formation lap. So it is Judd Watt who will start the first ever set of course competizione race at Sim Race South Africa from pole position. Christopher Langevaart in second, I think it was just a 10th behind him. That name Zahir Essa will have those two worried in front of him. And then we've got Quay Claessens in fourth for ATK, Judd Watt's teammate of course. Charles Wilkin, we've just spoken about. Mark van Rensburg, 2 and 6 position. He had a good race in the ACGD race last time out. Let's see how he gets on this evening. Wesley Front in 7th, of course. Lawrence Sterner in 8th. Chris Heineke in 9th. Goes Twerks, Peter Kalnes for Sim Racing Crew in 10th position. And Develd now in 11th. Develd now a well-experienced sim racer. South African sim racers, done FSR and a number of prestigious sim racing leagues throughout the years. And Swanepoel, Rudy Murray, Hugo de Wit, Henry Roux, Edwin Govender, Nick Hodgson, Brent Lindsay Ray, Mark McGeer, and Kieran Patterson rounds up the top 20.
You don't want to go any further than that, you'll be here all day. Just keep scrolling.
There we go.
A few honourable mentions: Robert Walker 21st, Corno Brie 24th. I think it's all possible for anyone to get down even into 30th place. Trying to avoid some carnage in lap 1, you're going to gain places. How good does it look at night though?
It's gorgeous.
Frame rate doesn't look quite so good. No, I'm doing alright. Okay. Parade lap starts. I've got some Essa fans already. It's almost like they know who he is. So weaving in the dark, make sure you don't do too much, but they're obviously desperately trying to keep any sort of tyre warmth when they're limited to 90 kilometers an hour. It's pretty much going to be, no matter how much weaving you do, I don't think it's going to make much difference, to be honest. They're going to be coming into T1 with clap cold tyres.
Yeah. Man, oh, the car's looking gorgeous with their lights done, the A-pillars, and the flashing lights with their 3 initials as well. So, wow, looks absolutely amazing. I don't see any rain coming down just yet. I thought I saw a drop, but
I think you get lens flare on your screen that makes it look like you got like dirt on your screen. It's quite cool at night. You see it. I don't think it's wet. You can see stars. It's clear skies though.
you can see I'm not quite used to my PC upgrade. But,
Yeah. So that, what looks like rain is like dirt on your lenses. Pretty cool. So an incredibly long parade lap at very slow speeds. Just what you want to get even more nervous before the start line.
Using the Helicam now, watching Bashir Jadwat leading the 30 strong field around this amazing Bathurst circuit.
pretty safe even to the back of the grid, so everyone, I don't suppose you can do too much damage at 90 kilometers an hour. 6.2 kilometers this track. It's going to take a little bit of time before they go down one of the longest straights of any circuit. In fact, it was the longest. It was exactly 1 mile, Conrod Straight, and it was forced to be shortened by the FIA because they added that little the chase, the kink with the chicane. That wasn't part of the original track. We see them coming down that Conrod Straight now. In the V8s, they apparently touched 300 kilometers an hour down this straight before the braking zone.
Wow.
How scary would that be? Ironically, that's faster than the fastest car when it was a full straight without that chicane. And it was put in to try and slow them down. So at that rate, they're going to have to put a few more in.
So current 7-hour time is about 5:30 in the morning. So we should see sort of the sun rising in about 10 minutes or so, I would say. Anyway, Judd Watt now preparing the field for the start of this race. They'll be told shortly to line up side by side before we get this race underway and go green. This race is 90 minutes long, time limited, and every driver must do at least 1 pit stop.
So this is the difficult bit, trying to line up side by side in a safe manner. It's like Bash needs to just bunch them up a little bit, or Langenveld's got to catch them up.
Oh, there's contact already. Oh, drama. Oh, that's not what we wanted to happen.
That's Esser into Langenveld.
Okay, and off we go. It's a messy start, but it started. Oh, contact again at the back. Oh, everybody still getting used to the start procedure.
Yeah, that 2 abreast didn't quite go very well. Esser sort of clipped Langenveld, and it's let Jadwat and Langenveld just run away with it at the front.
And Christopher Langenveld down to
dropped back, hasn't
30
he? Yeah, so Claessen's
position.
that got through. Claessen's in second. So 2 teammates. Couldn't get better for Takarina Ghostworks there, first and second.
So if we go the first time,
they got to go through a sector before the leaderboard updates, doesn't it? That's how they've suddenly updated now.
That's something we have to get used to as well. But
so
watching,
Charles Wilkins is up to 3rd position.
yes, we're watching now in the Lexus. Great to see the Lexus in the simiGT series for the first time. Charles Wilkins, the number 40 car, doing very well. And I think we're going to have a race full of surprises here, Daniel.
We've already had a surprise.
Yeah.
We've got Esser right down in 7th position.
Yeah.
So he's a quick man, way out of position. I'm even more out of position is Langenveld. Where's he finished? Where is he? He's down in 26th place. So he spun off with Esser. They got tangled into that penultimate corner into the start-finish straight. And yeah, he's obviously waited to rejoin and just come back right at the back of the field. So he's got our second fastest driver of the evening, trying to work his way through. So keep an eye on how he progresses.
So we have the 280k Mercedes-Benzes getting away at the front. Jadwat leads Claessen's. And as you mentioned, Daniel, Charles Wilkins off the circuit. A bit of a commentator's curse there, I think. I thought about his name before I said it, so it definitely went off. So he's scrambling now. Who's gone past him? I think it's front. Sterner. And Devold now having a go now in the Aston Martin.
So it's difficult to see exactly what position they've dropped to until they go through a sector. And then their timing screens light up. I'm showing 5th here.
Yes, so Charles Wilkins is down to 5th position, that's correct.
Lawrence Stern, who was down, I think, in sort of 10th place or so on the start, has also gained massively up to 4th. So we've got some of the few more old-timers that are used to Sim Race South Africa. Maybe there's experience starting to show, although obviously can't get much more experience than Langenveld and Esser, so that's a huge surprise at the start, to be honest. Be interesting to hear from them after the race as to exactly what happened.
As you ride aboard the helicopter now. We followed this is Lawrence Sterner across the top of the mountain.
So Bathurst is it's public road, actually, interestingly. So when they're not racing here, if you happen to be in the area, you can drive around it in your road car.
Wow, that's amazing.
You just can't go very fast. The speed limit's 60 kilometers an hour. And apparently there's coppers everywhere with guns to make sure you go 60 kilometers an hour rather than try and imitate your V8.
Yeah, the Aussies are quite brutal with their speed traps and their speed limits.
Very. When I was there, you do not speed. But certainly down Conrod Straight, you're not getting anywhere close to 300 kilometers an hour. 60 is all you're doing. Must feel incredibly long then. But still cool, I'd like to do it. Or someone off there in the back.
Yeah, it's Charles walking again on that corner. It's battling with that one. It's the second lap in a row now.
It's a difficult corner. I did a few laps last night trying to watch your braking zone. You use the brake markers on the right-hand side on the grass, which is what I was doing, looking out for the 150, which was really helpful until someone went off the track and took them all out, and then you're doomed forevermore. So if anyone's got used to using those brake markers, they'll be upset if anyone does a bit of gardening and takes them out. So in the meantime, Bashir Jadwat and Craig Clarson's running away. Obviously, they had a huge advantage at the start, but they're still making it count because they're pulling a 7-second lead ahead over Wesley Fran, who's all the way up into 3rd position now. It's gained a huge amount of places.
They'll be watching Fran now in the Porsche. A bit under pressure now from Lawrence Stern.
Obviously, we started with a Porsche in 3rd position. Now we've got a completely different one in 3rd position. Nell in the Aston Martins also moved up nicely into 5th place. Lawrence Stern is also running the Aston, so those Astons are starting to look cool on stream a bit further up.
You can see the sunrise starting to start now.
One quick reminder, Jason, from chat, which I've also forgotten about, is if you hit the 10, 30 or 1 minute buttons on our broadcasting, we can flash back and see if anyone goes off track, you can get it on replay.
Oh, yes.
And once you're in the replay section, you can even change drivers as well. So if you miss something further back, you can hit minus 30 seconds and we can go back and see what it is. Yeah, good point, guys. Sorry, we're stuck in AC mode.
Yeah, we're still getting used to all this.
We forget these things, but yeah, that's the one benefit we've got. So next time we see a crash, we can flash back and catch exactly what happened. It would have been good to see the start again.
Yeah. So while we've been chatting, Dan Quay Clarson's gone to the front now. He's ahead of Jadwat.
Okay, so yeah, we missed that one, so we could have shot back and watched that.
Can we do that? Let's have a look. Let's see if it works.
If it was 30 seconds, you gotta.
Okay, I've gone back 1 minute now. Who's in front?
So click on Clarson's
is
name.
Really front, I think.
Okay, so now we've got to watch 1 minute. Yeah. We'll get there, guys. Don't worry. Bear with us.
Yeah. Okay, so alright. I see. So we go back to the live race once the minute's finished, basically.
Yeah. Well, once it expires, you go back to the live race. Yeah. So you can shoot back 10 seconds, 30, or a minute.
Okay.
Sunrise. Sorry, not sunset. Coming up looks awesome when you come over the hill, following our leaders. We have a randomizer on the weather, so your guess is as good as ours, chat, as to whether we're going to see any rain showers. You think Australia you won't, but you never know. The test server, every time I sort of looked what was going on there, often rain there, so it's a good chance over the whole extended period with the time of day changes, we could get a good shower, mix it up a bit, scramble in the pits.
Okay, so we're back to the live race.
Yeah, that's the one thing when you flash back, I'm not sure how you stop it. So most guys tend to just go back to 30.
Okay, looking at Devolt now in 4th position. Charles Wilkin in 5th. Chris Heineke now under pressure from Mark van Rensburg. So let's just have a look at this battle. It's Mercedes-Benz leading the Bentley, the first Bentley,
that
in the
Bentley
field.
looks so mean, doesn't it, when it's behind you?
Yeah.
Huge grille. Should be in the toe down this long straight here. But it's difficult to overtake in turn 1. If you're not on the inside, you've got no chance. So always best to cover the inside, which is exactly what Chris is doing. Confident that Mark's too far behind.
On board with Mark van Rensburg now. Already menacing the rear of that Mercedes-Benz. Trying to force Heineke into an error.
So now you've got to be incredibly careful where you do a passing opportunity on the mountain. It's not easy. Maybe dive bomb up before the S's if you're desperate, but it's not recommended. Rather stay behind and then go down the Conrod straight exit. That Bentley will be good down Conrod straight. This is the important corner, Forest Elbow. It's so difficult to get a really good exit out of here.
Oh, and Dan van Rensburg's got a better exit. It is tuck into the behind the Mercedes-Benz, get the slipstream. Let's see what happens now.
He's got to make a move here. Mark is covering the inside of the chicane. Coming into the chase. Really is a chase in this instance. Surprising that Mark didn't put aside, because he did have a great exit, you're right. Murray's corner, the last corner, braking zone, very, very tight braking zone, braking around on the 100-metre board. Up to Hell Corner. I was intrigued. Why do you think they call it Hell Corner?
I don't know. Are you going to tell us? I think so.
There, can you believe it or not, there used to be a tree stump on the apex of Hell Corner.
Wow.
So the Australians are so safety conscious these days, but obviously they never used to be. And apparently, if a motorbike hit it, you would go straight to hell.
Okay.
That was what it was called. That's why they literally called it Hell's Corner. Obviously, that tree stump has been removed, thankfully. Maybe it was a little bit more of a crude racetrack than it is these days. Obviously incredibly famous now. Very dangerous in its own right though. Saw some unbelievable crashes in this year's 12-hour. Aston Martin one was insane. Rolled several times in this section over the mountain pass. Smacked the wall.
Yeah, and Van Rensburg's found his way past Heineke. So he's through. I'm not sure if Heineke made a mistake there, but he seemed to just move over for Van Rensburg, and through he went. And Heineke now under pressure from Rudy Moret.
Yeah, Heineke definitely, I just watched that back on stream, he definitely moved over and lifted, so he didn't like the pressure, maybe he thought he'd just let him pass.
We can go back on the replay, let's see if we can see something. 30 seconds.
Might be a little bit more than that now.
Yeah, no, it's really past, alright.
I
will learn to react to that a bit quicker, yeah.
You can, yeah, when you go back, you can change cameras as well, so you can go in the cockpit of the guy that's doing the path. I'm sure we'll see a few more. So difficult to keep track of so many cars on track, guys, so you just have to really bear with us.
So yeah, Essa is down to 21st position.
What on earth happened to him?
Oh, and he's gone off there.
Swanepoel's off.
Swanepoel's off.
Yeah, S has got damage on that 911, and it's not the damage from the first corner, I don't think. Because I don't think there was much damage in that first corner. It was the lightest of taps on it, just span him round. So right down in 24th place, I'm showing on my screen, even though the time is 21st. No, I think it is 21st. Car number 24, sorry. So I'm not used to seeing him down this low of the grid. That's what Bathurst can do for you, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, it's not the sort of track where you make a mistake, you think, right, I'm going to really put my head down and just go for it, because then you just make more. You just have to take your medicine and go carefully, because you push too much here and you'll just make another mistake.
Yeah. It's very much about respect for the circuit.
Yeah, 100%. Other tracks you can sort of take the limit a little bit. Worst case, you're going to have a run-off, aren't you? Here, there's no run-off at all. You make a mistake, you're going to pay for it. Clarson's is still looking comfortable at the front, but Jadwat's happy just to stay behind him in the sort of 1 second window. Got an awesome sunrise down the start-finish line. So of course, this track mostly only for V8s and the 12 hour is what it's known for. But yes, we don't really know the ultimate speed. I think those cars are probably as fast a car as you'd ever want to put around here, to be fair. Anything else would be a bit dangerous. But Jenson Button did take his McLaren Formula 1 car around here.
Oh, really?
Smashed, okay. Yeah, once on like a promotion. So he wasn't even going for it. Obviously, I can't imagine he was, but he did a 140, I think it's a 144 or 148. Oh. So it's the unofficial track record. It doesn't count, obviously, but it just shows you how quick you could go around here. Yeah, 148.8 was his lap time. I imagine he had great fun.
I would imagine so. So Brenton Ture in the V12 Aston Martin. This is the oldest spec car. Sounding absolutely amazing.
Wonder why he picked that over the newer one.
Probably the sound.
Okay.
I would think.
Yeah, awesome.
If we go on board now, we can have a listen.
Yeah, sounds great, doesn't it?
Sounds amazing.
And it looks so cool. I'm biased. It's the same guy that designed that car as designed mine.
Okay.
I got the Jag XKR.
Oh, very nice. Yep.
Looks very similar. Hasn't got a V12 now, unfortunately. Just the V8.
And we've got a newcomer this evening, Jason Isherwood. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Jason. Please come back to me if I'm not. But great to have you with us. And Jason just signed up this afternoon, in fact.
He's in 14th position, so he's doing well for a debut race.
Really good looking Ferrari as well. Yeah. And Jason driving for Press Esports, and as far as I know, he's organising himself a teammate for the next round as well.
Excellent. So we haven't got a full custom livery, but there is like a editor pack built into ACC, so you can control the look of your car quite a lot, at least colours and how you want it to approach. So there is certainly some choice going in. You can see that by looking at Bash and Clarson's cars. Certainly somehow they've managed to make their car look just like a Ghostworks livery just with ACC editor.
I think Jonathan Bent's YeloDesignCo working his magic there to try and make it look like something like the official liveries.
Forcing the editor to its maximum. The only thing missing is the ATK logos.
So Jadwat now leading Claessens has gone back to the front, and they're approaching a back marker now.
It's Berger, the back marker.
Oh, Berger's lost it in front of them. Oh, worst nightmare situation for ATK, I beg your pardon. And
yeah, very well avoided that was.
Yeah,
quite easily have turned out nasty.
And Jadwat registering on the radio code brown. But he'll keep going in the lead of this race. And I think it's going well for ATK. Well in control of this race. And the next driver is Lawrence Stern in third position. The first of the Aston Martins.
Yeah, Jadwat and Claessens definitely deserve their positions because they've put best laps in within a few hundredths of each other, 201.2s. So they're a second quicker than the rest of the field. Which should explain why they've got their healthy lead at the moment. Rudy Moraes is doing well, up into 8th position. Enjoying himself in the Aston, I'm sure. Coming up behind Chris Heineke.
Rudy now trying to chase down Chris Heineke still.
With one of the closest gaps in the top 20.
Charles Wilcombe under pressure from Mark van Rensburg.
Lexus followed by Bentley. It's nice to have a couple of new cars. Again, Van Rensburg will be looking for a clean exit out of Forest Elbow. This is really a corner where slow in really is fast out. So they both get away well. Mark's got the fastest lap so far. He's just more than a second quicker than Charles. So obviously he's behind because of a little bit more of inconsistency. But he's definitely got the pace to put a move on. So many corners on this track that it's all about exit speed. You lose so much time with messy exits. Mark made a little bit of a mistake there, running wide out of Hell Corner. And he's lost quite a bit now going down Mountain Straight. He's fallen back a bit. Got Hugo de Witt on the timing screens, very close behind, apparently in 12th position behind Nick Hodgson.
Okay, let's go and have a look.
2 Aston Martins. Nick's got a bit of damage on the front of his Aston Martin though, so he's seen a bit of action that we possibly missed. Hugo's is looking much cleaner. Being a 10th within it. That's such a great looking car. I want to get an Aston. I love the back of it. The lights are so cool.
It's amazing.
And I can't believe it. I mean, the company's really struggling, isn't it? Aston Martin's. Oh, we've got an accident there. Henry Road in the wall behind. Maybe we can shoot back and catch it on replay.
Okay, here we go. We caught him. This might be our first successful replay of the evening.
We should get that one. A bit of a spin into the cutting.
Just a bit too quick in the eye. Just turned it around there. No damage I can see, but it just had a half spin. Here comes Jason Isherwood. Oh, almost into him, but just misses him, thankfully. We're back live now with Henry Root.
if you trail your brake a bit too much and put some too much steering lock, that back end comes out so easy on that corner. Bit of an off-cambered corner. Especially if you're running your bias a little bit rearwards.
We're back with our race leaders now, and Jadwat's still leading Klaassen, but Klaassen's hanging on to Jadwat, almost biding his time.
So we've got Christian Langeveld in chat now. He's retired, unfortunately. That's a shame. In the pits. Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate on there. We'll have to go back and have a look at exactly what happened on that first corner instance before the start. It definitely looked like, yeah, we didn't quite line up in double file like we were supposed to. So hopefully we can sort that for the second round, which is, where's the second round? Sorry, I always put you on the spot.
It's a good question. I want to say Suzuka.
It'll be some epic decision based off some real world race.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah. But you made it a few months ago, so
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quickly have a look. What did I do?
Who are we on board with at the moment?
We're watching Charles Walker trackside.
So Mark's got past him. They have swapped positions. So certainly Van Rensburg did have the pace to pass Charles Wilkins, but on debut it's a good race by Charles. He obviously had a few difficulties into this braking zone of the chase. Saw him in the first couple of laps go off onto the grass. That's that 150 board is where you want to be planting it. Seems to have got the hang of it now. There are no problems there. Just slightly clipping the dirt.
So the next GT Series round is at Kyalami. That's a Seta Corsa version.
Yeah, I think guys are already practicing on that.
So that's for Seta Corsa in our GTC part of it. And then the next ACC round Suzuka. Yeah, I was right. Yeah, Suzuka.
Okay, you shouldn't have doubted yourself.
Yeah, that's it.
Another DLC track?
That's right,
or is that,
all of the ACC tracks are DLC.
So there's not much practice gone on yet. This obviously was only released last week, so we're pretty fortunate that this came out just in time for this first round because it was scheduled as Bathurst right from the start. Jason pulled a few strings of Kunos and just they brought it forward for him.
Yeah, I did call it like a month in advance. So.
Yeah, you're a prophet.
I don't know how it worked out. I just thought, I looked at the Bathurst 12-hour date and then I looked
it's like, it's gotta be.
You know, they might just do it then. Let's go for it. Let's go. We can always change it later, but let's just go for it and see.
Inspired. I think it was popular because everyone's so up for it. I mean, I've never seen so many people so up for this race.
Yeah.
You've had 12 hours so recently, it's fresh in your mind. It's fresh DLC released only last week. Great to see. So it's difficult to... One thing I'm not liking, I'm going to have to get some live timing screens on the second screen.
We can't see the gaps nicely.
You can't see the gaps, can you? You can only see them when they cross sectors. Whereas if I had it on my live timing screen, which I can only do if I'm a parked car in the pit, so I think I'll have to do that next time.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, these gaps are refreshed only 3 times the lap.
Maybe we have to come up with a plan for that. So watching now Kieran Patterson of Patterson Works Racing. And his father's a team principal, Alan Patterson of Patterson Works Racing. Great to see his son racing in the Ferrari. Oh, it's just at the wall. In fact, I think this is Essa trying to get past him. Yes, it is.
So Essa's still pushing on.
I think Essa is trying to always unlap himself there. No, he's actually in fact a lap ahead. So just putting a lap on young Kieran there.
Yeah, although S is only in 18th position and Kieran's in 21st. There's a massive gap there.
Now watching Essa in 18th position in the 171 Porsche. Ironic is in the AM class.
So we've got a forced pit stop, as is usually the case. However, with the complete and utter unknown of weather, when they'll take it, I've got no idea. I mean, I haven't done enough ACC racing personally to know how tyres last. Are we expecting to see them halfway? Is it not that case? It'll be interesting to see when guys start piling into the pits. Obviously, it doesn't look like we're getting any rain anytime soon. Glorious Australian weather that we have at the moment. We'll have to go to Brands Hatch one day. It'll be just raining constantly.
Yeah. So Chadwick's moved away from Claassens. The gap must be about 3 seconds or so.
And so maybe Jadwat's a little bit better now. He's burnt some fuel off. But they are incredibly tight. It's quite impressive. Do we have a lap counter? Yeah, 14 laps in. And separated by 2 seconds is great driving on a track this big.
Then I'm just going to go down the order and try and find some battles for us to watch. Watching Devolt now in 4th position. Mark van Rensburg now in 5th. Charles Wilkins in 6th position. Chris Heineck in 7th. He's got Rudy Beret chasing him down. Peter Helnes in the Honda NSX in 9th position.
Apparently the Honda's pretty good. I haven't taken that one for a spin yet.
Yeah,
I've heard it's good.
I had to go with it last time when I was testing the server. It sounds great too, and it's really sort of on the nose. It
I've
turns
heard
in
it's
very
had
well.
a bit of a buff as well in the update, apparently. So yeah, it's become a bit more popular. I still love the old Lindsay Ray's old Aston Martin. Obviously, I've got a soft spot for that car.
Yeah, and this Lindsay Ray's
I don't care if it's the slowest car on the grid. He wins best looking car on the grid for me. Yeah. Lindsay Ray, well done.
Yeah. So watching Helnes now, we've got Lindsay Ray just behind him. Let's have a look at that glorious sounding Aston Martin. And it was a very quick car instead. Ran a couple of major races, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's pretty good, wasn't it?
I think it did very well in the British GT Series 2.
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult to see gaps, isn't it? I'm really struggling to try and pick out who's got a gap to who. We'll get that sorted, I think. We'll find a solution for that.
Yeah. So
we're used to our live timings.
Yeah, with our set of course immediate gaps
which obviously
and
was
deltas.
a mod anyway.
Yeah, that's true as well. So Isherwood now, Jason chasing down Hugo de Wit. These two separated by must be about half a second. Using my eyes. And it's Aston Martin leading Ferrari. An interesting battle. Let's see what Jason can do here. Let's go on board with him. Down on Conrad straight we go. In the slipstream. Oh, the Ferrari's got some legs. Here we go.
Yeah, he's got him, but he's on the outside. De Wit's got the inside line. Going to Chequered, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Got around the kink and it doesn't matter the braking zone. Isherwood's got that done.
Nice move there by Isherwood. Welcome to SimRace South Africa.
Obviously fixed gearboxes in all these cars, which we're not used to from AC, so you're right on the limiter coming down that Conrod straight, just bouncing off of it. Not much you can do about it on this track, you just sit there and wait. So aero wall is the only way to get more speed, not gearing.
So Isherwood now leading Henry Roux, and Henry Roux's right behind him. Nothing in it. With the battle developing.
Let me have a jump around on my screen and look for some battles because it doesn't affect the stream. So let me
Yeah,
have
great.
a...
That'll be great.
Oh, good close. Nell and Mark van Rensburg pretty close. Obviously, Mark's caught the old Nell up because he was fighting with Charles Wilkins before. So he's now within 4/10, half a second. In the very intimidating looking Bentley. Can't say it's never really been a huge fan of the Bentley, but certainly if that was in your rearview mirror, you'd know about it.
You would.
I wouldn't say it's a pretty car, but it's certainly an intimidating looking car. Making a move up the inside mark. And he's got it made, so it's great down a straight line. De Waldenel's conceded the position, I think, in that Aston.
Okay, we'll just go have a replay quickly. Yeah, up the inside. Goes Van Rensburg. Van Rensburg very strong this evening.
Yeah, he's having a good race.
Back to the live race now. So there's 2 successful replays this evening. So
That's 2 more than I thought we'd get.
yeah, we're getting there.
We got 56 minutes to go. We're going to get a few more in. Obviously, the nature of this circuit, you tend to spread out just a little bit. It's such a long circuit. We need to keep an eye out for back markers because I suspect we've certainly missed a few incidences with back markers already. But when our leaders come up behind back markers, that's where we could see some trouble. Every time I go past Brent and Izzy Ray, I have an extra few seconds to admire that.
You can hear the V12 all over the track.
I know. I think we should just watch Lindsay Ray for 90 minutes.
It doesn't matter where you're watching. You just hear the downshifts.
Yeah, you know? Perfect.
Yeah. All this turbocharged nonsense around us.
I know. We'll have electric cars soon. Imagine how boring the stream will be.
Let's not talk about that. Yeah, I'm trying to block that out of my mind. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be the future. Yeah.
Pretty much inevitable, isn't it? But yeah, it's going to make for some boring sim racing. Yeah. I hear the squeaky brake pedal on my sim rig instead of a nice engine noise. We got Swanepoel just hit the wall as Rowe and someone passed him. Okay, I'm not sure whether he was trying to avoid as a back marker and dived into it, or.
Okay, we've got a replay of it now. Here comes the Audi, the number 21. Oh, it's gone slightly wide at the top of the mountain. It's hit the wall. Yeah.
Yeah. So S is coming up behind Jadwa, but not in the way that we thought he would be. As in, he's trying to unlap himself. How unusual is that? 16th place, and he's finding himself a lap down.
It's going to be interesting to see where he lands up at the end of the race. If he's already up to 16.
I'm not thinking he's going to gain too much places, is he?
Yeah.
He's got Mike McGear in front of him, who's already... Let's have a look. He's already coming down right at the end of the straight, into the last corner. He's coming into Murray's corner, so he's a long way ahead of Esser. Esser's dropped a lot of places, a lot more than that first corner incident warranted, so he's been involved with a few other scrapes as well. Porsche's looking pretty second-hand at this point. Dirk Brown behind him in also a very scraped Ferrari.
Here comes Dirk Brown now.
So Craig Carson's has had an issue, hasn't he? Because he was 2 seconds back and he's dropped 10 now. So he's had something there. Can't see any damage on his car. So I don't think he's been off track. But I also don't think you wouldn't lose that sort of time. It's been so consistent. Right up between behind Jadwat Bashir since the start. Even managed to pass him. So he's definitely gone off track or done something to lose about 8 seconds. Lawrence Sterner's now tracking him because he's coming up the mountain as well.
Yeah, Sterner not close enough to pick up any pieces that comes from Claessen's way.
That's all he can do, isn't it? Try and just keep there and thereabouts. Another mistake like what he's made and he'll be right on him. Now there's keeping with Van Rensburg up the mountain path, so certainly Mark's not driving away from him. Now Mark's showing great pace because his fastest lap of the race is a 2:02.0, so that's good for a race lap. Chadwatt's now managed to get a 2:0:09, which is awesome for a race lap. Great pace. Would have been enough for a top 10 in qualifying easily. In fact, I think in a top 4 or 5.
Well, the gap spreading out there at the top, but this track can certainly reward those towards the end. I mean, the drivers in the top 10 could still win the race.
Yeah,
this track takes no prisoners.
You hit a wall and you find yourself a lap down. I mean, ask Essa. Yeah, you've got to keep your concentration. You've never got this. I think even if you're on the final laps, you think you've got this race won. Of course, we had the iRacing 12-hour this weekend, and Max Verstappen was leading the race comfortably. 2 hours to go, binned it into the wall. Couldn't believe it.
Wow.
Ended up dropping down to 4th place. So you think Max Verstappen probably going around on autopilot. And yeah, just completely dropped it into the cutting up the mountain pass. And yeah, you hit the wall in iRacing and you're major damage, forced pit stop. So that to sit and wait for repairs and yeah, cost him the race.
Wow.
Had a comfortable lead as well. So yeah, it's not over for our leaders. There's plenty still to do. 50 minutes to go. Plenty to happen. Yeah, ironic that if you're in Team Redline and you've got the professional Formula 1 driver on your team, and you're the one that has to slap him on the wrist for a bit of a rookie mistake.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens too much, does it? I wouldn't want to be the person to tell Max Verstappen off for poor driving. The weak link of a sim racing team.
Imagine having to replace him because of that error for the next race.
Yeah. Sorry, Max, I've got to drop you. Just not quick enough.
It's not working out.
I don't think that happened, but yeah, he was upset about it for sure. Didn't go down very well at all. Lando Norris was watching on his live stream. His reaction was priceless. Still, great to have guys like that involved with sim racing.
Yeah,
it can only be good for our hobby.
The new generation coming through. Yeah.
They're bringing a few with it. There's a lot of GT3 drivers getting involved as well. Quite a few of them on ACC. They get to drive their own cars, of course. They're quite complimentary, a few now, especially with the new updates and patches. So they've seen huge improvements in comparing it to how their real-life car drives. Which has got to be pleasing to Kunos, I'm sure. So I'm trying to see if there's any fights happening. I'm only seeing cars passing back markers. Now it's just passing Berger down the straight, but no drama there. Berger moves nicely out of the way for him. Yeah, Claessen's dropped all that time and hasn't dropped any more. In fact, he's actually starting to gain a bit. So he definitely made an error somewhere that we missed. Seemed not really too costly for him because he hasn't lost position. Charles Wilkins is just coming up behind a back marker Brown just when you don't want to, right at the start of the mountain passes. Brown moves out very, very nicely for him.
Well, Claessen nearly tapped the wall as well at the top of Conrad Strait.
Just after we say he's not making a mistake again.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you've got a 10-second gap in front and a 10-second gap behind, you just start looking around, you know, sort of not too worried, get a bit blasé about it. Next minute you've missed a braking zone, you're in the wall.
Yeah.
That's
always been my problem too.
Mine. Terrible.
When I was doing the Veteran Endurance Championship at R Factor 2, for 2 years in a row, I binned it into the wall at the Porsche curves. At the same corner.
With no one around.
At a similar part of, sort of the time of the race as well. And it was soul destroying. Especially when you've got 3 or 4 other teammates who rely on you to keep the car on the track, and then you bin it.
Yeah, 100%. And they got to have that awkward conversation like Max Verstappen and drop you for the next race.
Yeah, it's quite something.
It's difficult. I'm exactly the same. You get into it when you've got no battles around you. You start thinking about other stuff like, oh, my pit stop's in so many laps time and all the rest of it. And then you're not actually thinking about driving, is it?
Yeah.
So you're driving to work, and you can't do that when you're at speed.
It's almost like you lose your reference points. Almost, it's it's weird.
You get lazy
in your mind, as it were. It's like a psychological type thing. Yeah.
Whereas when you've got a guy right up behind you and one right in front, he keeps it concentrated a little bit more sometimes. It's got Wilkins into the pits and Patterson into the pits. So Charles Wilkins is the first of our leading cars to come in for a pit stop.
To pull the trigger.
And he's bang on halfway, so he's been quite conservative, hasn't he? We've got Geldeners has also come into the pits.
Okay.
So we're starting to see people into the pits. Brendan Izzy Ray and his awesome Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Paparazzi taking pictures of it.
Fourth now, yeah. It's Chris Heinecker. He's coming through now in 5th position.
So a few pit stops, they've split strategy. Some of the old timers on ACC, Jadwat and Clarson's might be doing something different. I'm not sure. Obviously, with the weather also unknown.
So Jadwat stays out. What does Clarson's do? Approaching the pits now. No, he stays out as well.
Obviously, a really difficult pit entrance. So easy to make a fool of yourself there.
Charles Wilkins leaving the pits now. He's down to 14.
Not over yet.
So I haven't tested how much fuel you can put in these cars. Does anyone in the chat know how far it's possible to go? I assume significantly further if you wanted to. Obviously, we have a forced pit stop strategy, so some people might be using that for splitting fuel weights rather than the necessity to change tyres. So we've got Jonathan Benson chat, but he's not in ACC. What's up, Jonathan? He was in our AC league, wasn't he?
Yeah. No, I think he was meant to race this evening, but he couldn't due to work commitments, as far as I understand.
Okay. He hasn't got load shedding as an excuse. I know that.
Same. It goes for a few drivers this evening, unfortunately.
Oh, Charles just made a mistake. Went straight over on the S's across the grass.
Okay.
We can probably get him on replay.
Whatever.
Just avoided the wall. He's come out of the pits and is pushing it because he's one of the early ones. He's dropped down to 14th place, but that's not his true position. He was in 5th when he came into the pits.
We've got him on replay now. Across the top of the mountain he goes. Now descending. Oh, yeah, I just got it wrong on that quick right-hander.
Managed to collect it nicely, thankfully, because you can hit the wall very easily doing that. Yes, Jonathan, if you don't make it in time, you will be locked out of the server, I'm afraid.
You shouldn't be locked out.
But you can't. I think once the race starts, that's it. You may qualifying, you can come, but you've got to make the qualifying session.
Okay. I did leave the server open for joining. I think I'll have to check it for the next race. Yeah. Oh, maybe something's gone wrong there. Maybe you have to do qualifying, as you say. I'm not sure how ACC works.
I'm pretty sure you've got to do qualifying.
Okay.
I think it blocks the server for the race start, which sort of makes sense because you got it till and we got till 8:45. But you got to drop round, and you won't have load shedding like the rest of us, so there's plenty of time to make it up. So Clarkson's coming up behind a back marker again. I'm not sure who that is.
Our racing Judd White is coming to the pits. In fact, leaving now.
Okay. So that's why Clarkson's in first position, because he missed the pits. He's going longer.
Oh, we've got some action here. Isherwood, I think, is slow. He's let Clarkson through.
Clarkson's being held up big time here.
This is costing him. Blue flags being shown to the Porsche and Aston Martin in front of him.
It's Esser and Murray. Rudy, get out of the way. He may be fighting with Esser. No, but Esser's a lap down as well. So Rudy Moraes is a car in the middle of 3 that's actually not involved with any of that. Carson's managed to get through pretty safely. Esser's trying to unlap himself.
And Claessen's is staying out again for another lap.
I don't think Rudy's going to be too keen to let Esser pass, but he has done. Obviously, any chance these guys get to battle with Esser is going to be taken. Maybe not just going to move over,
No.
especially if it's position. So we've had our race leader come in and out of the pits in 4th position, but we've got 3 runners running longer. So maybe they fueled a bit longer. Be interesting to see how much longer. Currently, weather forecast is looking pretty glorious. It's set for a dry race, I think.
Yeah, it seems like that rain is staying away.
Well, that's something else we've got to sort for next time. We're desperate to see some rain. Oh, we want a sprinkler for 10 minutes or 2 laps.
There's still 40 minutes and time progression I think is at 6 times, so who knows what happens in the last 10 minutes.
It's true. Suzuka strikes me as a place that you could get a few showers. So now these front runners have got a lot of back markers to deal with. Nell's coming up behind Patterson in 2nd place. It's all about where you meet these back markers as to how much it affects you and how much time you lose. Don't want to be tied up behind them on the mountain pass. Jaguar just clipped the wall then, coming out of the cutting. It's unusual. Not anything too serious.
Oh, again.
Light tap.
Again.
And onto the grass. He's looking a little bit wayward. Now he's got some heavy fuel.
Just needs to dial it down a bit.
He had a 10-second lead, so I don't think he really needs to push as much as he thinks. He's keen to make sure the sort of undercut doesn't work, but I don't. Just needs to keep it clean.
Yeah. Claessens and Nell have stayed out. Let's see what Nell does now.
So the one next to their name on the leaderboard is that they need to take their pit stop, is it? And when it goes green, it means they've had their mandatory pit stop.
Yes.
That's handy. Now, if only they could do live timings.
Yeah.
But the pit stop indicator's nice. So we've got Wesley Ferrant also due into the pits, and Cornet Breed has not had a pit stop yet either.
Van Rensburg's had an off, I think, in the Bentley. Let's have a look in the replay. Yes, is gone. Let's see if I can go back again. He's had a spin coming out of the 2nd corner.
Oh, okay, the cut. Yeah, that's the cutting. That's easy up the hill, isn't it?
Yeah. Big Bentley did not like one of the bumps there.
Oh, and very close to having someone collect him as well. I see on the replay on the stream. So he's having a great race up to that point, Mark, but we're still not sure his true position with a few pit stops still to be taken. A few places, but he would have dropped a few, I think.
Now Zahir Essa is up to 7th position, having already done his pit stop, of course. And I wonder if he can get to the end, because then he should have bread too for 6th.
Of course, so he came in early, which is probably why I put him a lap down for pitting.
Yeah.
And now it's starting to show his true positions. So he was fighting with Rudy for position. It wasn't unlapping himself. I'll take that back, he'll be very upset. It was for 7th position. Just last time we jumped in with him, he was 16th, a lap down behind Jadwat, wasn't he? So it's thoroughly confusing.
So he's slowly bringing himself into play now. And I wonder if this is making Jadwat a bit nervous, and hence the mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, his fastest lap is still a 2:01.6, which is nearly a second slower than Jadwat, so I'd be surprised if that is the case.
Okay.
I think maybe there's a few more, like Heineke's got a 38-second gap for him, so I think there's some whacking great big gaps that are showing it closer than what it actually is. Such a great track, though. I mean, it's got 174 meters of elevation change from the highest point to the lowest point, and it just makes it. If you took the 170 meters out, 174 meters, and you leveled it, we probably wouldn't know anything about it. No one would care. But as soon as you add that in, it's just unbelievable.
It almost brings like a hill climb vibe to it.
Yeah, you got a hill climb and a hill descent, and two whacking great big straights either side of it.
Okay, default now just leaving the pits. Jadwat's just gone through, back to 2nd. So ATK have their 1-2. Clarkson still needs to pit, of course.
So Lawrence Stern, was he in 3rd position before? Well, now he's really gained because he didn't qualify. He qualified quite far down, didn't quite catch qualifying, but he was nowhere near. I was surprised. I remember seeing his name. I'm surprised it was lower down, but he's done quite a few ACC races already, so I think that experience is paying off.
Ray Clarsons are wrestling into the pits now.
So we'd expect Jadwat to clear him by a good few seconds.
It's quite a way back though, is Jadwat. Let's see what happens now.
He's just coming onto Conrad now. Yeah, it's a very long way. You think just one straight, but it's one of the longest straights ever. Watching Clarsons, this could be interesting. Those mistakes that we saw Jadwat make, a few taps on the wall, he had some untidy laps.
And he had a lot of traffic as well. Wow.
Clarsons is leaving, and he was 10 seconds behind.
He's still got a way to go down the pit lane. Here comes Jadwat through the final corner.
It's on Murray's corner. No, Clarsons has got this, I think. It's going to be very, very tight. Obviously, he's got a long pit past the pit limiter now. Clarsons has planted it. Yeah, Jadwat just coming around Hell's corner. Yeah, Clarson's made the move. A 10-second undercut.
And that's how it's done.
That really is impressive. Gained 10 seconds in what, 4 or 5 laps? Wasn't that much?
I think so. Yeah, we saw those areas from Jadwat, and then he. Whoa! It's Joel Wilkin in the wall. I think that is.
You want to see that again?
Let's make that happen.
That was almost nasty.
He's sort of stuck on the curb too. Trying to get things going again.
Get beached.
Oh, he needs someone to give him a bit of a tap.
He can't. Is he literally beached? Can't get off.
No, he's literally beached.
Oh, what a disaster.
He needs someone to help him along. Oh, it was almost Aston Martin.
Oh no, it's terrible. He's coming. He's got it.
Fantastic.
Oh, how much time has he lost there? So unfortunate for Shah Wilkins.
Back to
And
the
he's still
80k battle
He's
now,
stuck on
and
that
Judd
curve.
Watt's right up with Claessens again. I think Claessens may be battling with tyre pressure, cold tyres, and Judd Watt's obviously got the heat into his tyres. Because he's... Oh, they almost made contact. Claessens covers Judd Watt up the inside. Oh, Judd Watt flings the car across the curbs. Gets better momentum that way now. Claessens goes defensive.
Maybe this is the time that Judd Watt lost, warming up in his tyres. Now Claessens struggling with it.
Oh, Claessens running wide. Oh, keeps it off the wall.
Yeah, he pushed those cold tyres too much. Maybe that hasn't caused him any damage. In the meantime, Carl Wilkins has got off his curb and is up the mountain path, but I think he's lost a substantial amount of time, down in 14th position. This obviously takes quite a few laps to get your tyres up to temperature and get comfortable.
Yeah, which is what we do see in GT3 racing.
Yeah. Claessens would have been significantly quicker to claw back what was effectively a 10-second gap to claim the first place. So Judd Watt's now got warm tyres and he should pull away. Possibly also while we saw some sort of uncharacteristic mistakes from Bash. We've got a car off their leech. S's. Oh, Sterner just had a big accident with Brand. Just as I clicked through it. Oh, they're blocking the road as well. Oh, Hodgson just thread the needle.
Oof.
Lawrence.
Let's have a replay.
Yeah, Lawrence Sterner's trying now to right his vehicle, and it's yeah, he's had a big spin. Third position, he's dropped down. Expecting some damage to that Aston Martin following that.
Oh, unfortunately, yeah. Stenner got past, but then the Ferrari just moving across on him and just tagging the rear. Big damage for both cars.
Oh, and now he's gone again over the S's. Just come over the S's and he's gone back to pits. Tyres are obviously cooked, his damage on that vehicle. It's unfortunate from third position to pit stop. Just what we were saying here in Bathurst, one mistake and you go from third to out. Just got slightly tagged on the back, didn't he? By the Ferrari. I don't think he'll be too happy with that.
Mark van Rensburg's putting him on corner bread for 11th position. Good stuff.
So Mark's dropped quite a long way back from him. He was up in 4th at one point. Esser, I don't know how Esser... I look, he's 16th and then he's 6th. It's like he's walked his way around the track at some point without us noticing. But he's... Yeah, Lawrence Turner's in the pits, and I think that might be retired, or he's maybe repair and back out. With the gaps, he might not be as bad as he thinks. So that puts Esser into 5th position. Chris Heineke, I don't think we've mentioned him once, have we? He's just been going on his own.
In fact, yeah.
He's been shopping, down Chequers, got his shop on his way home. I'd forgotten he was even in the race.
Oh, he's just quietly getting on with it for Ghostworks.
Perfectly conditioned AMG. He can sell that when he's finished. Full retail value.
So Esser's just 3.6 seconds behind him.
So Esser's going to come from 22nd on the grid to what effectively would be 4th position if he can catch him. So Chris, all that easy work, he's suddenly going to have someone in his rearview mirrors. I'm sure he's aware of it. You'll watch that live relative delta.
I'm going to let you watch Heineke for just 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
just comparing times with Heineke and Esser. Esser's fastest time of the race is a 2:01.6, and Chris Heineke, who's been going along, as we've discussed, completely on his own, barely recognised, is a 2:02.9. So he hasn't had to push too hard, but he's 1.3 seconds down on the fastest time of Esser. So I'd expect Esser to be catching him relatively quickly. We could be seeing some action sooner rather than later between these two. And Chris is going to have to see what he's made of. So I don't think he's really had too much pressure, or if he has, we've certainly missed it.
Okay, I'm back.
Last time they crossed the line, and Esser was nearly 2 seconds quicker in that lap. So he's catching very, very quickly indeed. At that rate, only another lap, he'll be right behind. You see over the timing screens what they cross now. Actually, yeah, 0.9 is the difference.
A driver who's come from nowhere, I think, is Peter Geldener. He's up into 6th position in the Honda. Or was he so hard?
Hardly seen a Honda.
Yeah.
Is he the only Honda? I think he's the only Honda out on the track. Oh no, there's Mayer's also in a Honda. Sinister looking car. Very underrated, I think. Generally, the NSX.
Yeah.
First, even from the very first NSX, a very underrated car.
Heineke made an error there. This has allowed Esser to get right behind him.
Yeah, he's tight behind him now. Good exit onto the Conrod straight. Apparently named, it used to just be the back straight. You'd always think, oh, it's the back straight. But someone drew their Conrod in a famous race in 1939 and it became the Conrod straight. I knew it had to have something like that involved with it. Yeah, so Chris is going to be sweating a bit in the cockpit of that AMG, I think. It's a formidable name behind him. He'll be very well aware that he's a very quick driver.
Oh, into the pits comes Esser.
Oh, well, that changes everything. And he misses his pit zone as well.
That's why he was so quick. Perhaps he was lightly fueled.
Yeah.
Just to get back up the field.
I guess explains everything, really, doesn't it? Completely out of position as far as we're aware, but like you said, because our timing screen showed that he had done a pit stop at the start, maybe to repair some damage, possibly wrongly assumed that he would push it to the end. So Caldenes will definitely pass him. And so will Rudy Moraes. Has already gone past the start-finish line. Henry Rowe shouldn't do. He's just coming down the end of the chase into the final Murray's corner. Might also pass Esser, who's still in the pitch. Yes, he will. So he's going to drop down to 9th position, most likely, or 8th position.
Watching Nick Hodgson now in 9th position, under pressure from Van Rensburg.
Look at that, Jason. If you're on your ACC broadcasting app, underneath the name, it tells you the live gaps between them and the driver behind. How did we miss that?
I don't know. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, there we go. Sorry,
Yeah.
Kunos, we take it back.
No, you've thought of everything. It's not live on stream, unfortunately. You've got sector timings showing on the leaderboard of the broadcasting, but we do have live timings. I just never noticed it. To be fair, it's incredibly small print on my second monitor across the room.
Oh, slight mistake by Hodgson. Here comes Van Rensburg. Looks outside and inside. Hodgson just covers him off for the moment. This is fighting over 9th position.
On my screen, I've got Brent Lindsay-Ray stuck in 9th position as well on my broadcasting app. I'm not sure what happened to him, but he seems to have left or missing from the server. So we've missed something there. But yeah, Nick Hodgson, very, very tight. Mark van Rensburg right up behind in the formidable-looking Bentley. Got a great exit out the last corner Mark did there. Nick was poor. I'd expect to drag here. Oh, he's just clipped onto the grass, Mark, using all the track width. Hodgson protecting the inside line. I don't think it's going to be enough to stop the pass. And Mark's got the pass made already. Oh, Nick tried to dive bomb up the inside.
Oh, what a move.
Brilliant move. I think Mark thought he had that made.
Fantastic racing. That's what we want to see.
So it's a great little scrap between these two. The old-timer of Nick Hodgson against the newcomer, Mark van Rensburg, coming up to Hell's Corner. I think Mark was quite expecting that move up into the first corner of the chase. Now down the mountain straight to Griffin's Bend.
Perhaps the Aston's just a bit better under braking as well.
Yeah, I think Mark got caught napping there. He had the corner made, he took the racing line and left the door wide open, and Nick wasn't having any of it. Got to do it all again.
On board now with Van Rensburg. Up the mountain we go.
So Mark knows he just needs to keep calm and get a really good exit onto Conrod Straight, and he can do the same again. Nick went a bit wide there coming into the dipper.
That's cost him.
Yeah, very easy to do.
Oh,
Nick brake. Yeah, that was a bit too pushed by Mark there. Didn't get anywhere near a clean
We can see what he's trying to do there. He's trying to wide exit and come in to get a better run. Yeah.
You've got to hug that corner. It's weird. You think you should wide exit and then fire out, but the fastest line is you've got to get really, really tight to that inside corner, and you feel like you're almost stopped, but it's definitely the quickest way. And yeah, it's nothing like the last lap. Nowhere near Nick.
Oh, Van Rensburg's pushing very hard.
Yeah, definitely. He wants it, doesn't he? Slightly wide miss than I expect from Nick, but didn't affect him too much. Managed to collect himself. Perfectly clipped the apex of Hell's Corner. Bentley is tracking him though, isn't he? Must be intimidating. He's got a good run now into the draft. Nick just needs to cover that inside line. It's basically impossible to pass around the outside. Mark knows that. He's trying to go onto the grass.
Van Rensburg damming left, then going right.
Yeah. Inside line or nothing.
Yeah, Hodgson went with him to the left and then dotted to the right again to cover him off. Fantastic
Mark
racing.
Can't do anything here. Nick's covering the inside anyway.
Oh, he's made a mistake!
He went to cover the inside and it cost him. He didn't need to. And it's great driving there by Mark to be aware and poach the position. Yeah, it's a good pass.
That was great to watch.
And Nick's dropped quite a bit back as well, so he was obviously putting a lot of effort into trying to keep Mark behind. I have to say the Aston sounds better on board again, though, doesn't it? Oh. See, the Aston Martin factory is just down the road from where I was born.
Oh, well.
In fact, I did we did a refurbishment work on their headquarters just outside Banbury.
Okay.
Aston Martin have gone. The Nick's gone wide onto the grass, unfortunately. Just thrown in the towel, I believe. So let me pan through a few guys and.
Yeah, as far as I understand, the Aston Martin will have some new owners shortly.
Yeah, Lawrence Stroll has got 20% stake in Aston Martin.
And there's big rumours of Aston Martin returning to Formula One, obviously taking over the force and the Racing Point team, I'm guessing.
It does sound suspiciously like it will be Racing Point with a very pretty Aston Martin livery on it, I believe.
Okay.
But we shall see. A little bit like how Lotus was involved with Renault and
yeah.
But it would be nice. I mean, there's rumours, all sorts of rumours going around. As soon as that happens, that Aston Martin could do their own engine. To be honest, in the state they're in, I don't think they can afford to do it. But we'll see now. They've had a cash injection.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Aston Martin road cars with Mercedes-Benz's engines now, so it makes sense for them to have a Mercedes-Benz engine as well. Suppose in the Formula 1 car.
Yeah, I don't think you're suddenly going to move to a whole new engine and be competitive, are you? And actually, Racing Point, a very competitive team.
Yeah.
So we got Duold that's back into third position, and I'm not 100% sure how he got there. That third position has been fluctuating throughout the race. We've had our top two switch a couple of times, but third place has swapped relentlessly. We had Lawrence Turner in there for a while. And Duold was in and then out of it and then back into it again.
Yeah, because Sterling, of course, had his off as well that we saw.
Heineke is mega relieved seeing Esther go into the pits, I think. So he's back to doing his shopping run. He's coming up behind the back marker in Isherwood. Rudy Moraes, not really seen a lot of him, and he's in 6th place. It shows he's done a hell of a lot of laps practice on Bathurst. I don't think he's done any ACC practice, but he's done a huge amount of iRacing Bathurst laps, and it's paying dividends for him because consistency is getting him into 6th place out of 30 drivers. So very well done to him. He's got Esser chasing him down there. 15 minutes to keep him behind him. Henry Rowe as well, not seen much of him, up into 8th position. Pleasantly going around his business.
That's a great drive by Henry Rowe.
Yeah.
Improving all the time. Is Henry.
Definitely. Local boy to me, just down the road. He's had a go on my rig.
Okay, cool.
It's like every time I go to a driver, they're about to pass Isherwood, unfortunately. So he's been keeping his... He's had a half a race of looking in his mirrors and obeying blue flags, but he's not been tangled up with anyone, so good clean drive. Well, someone just went off behind Charles Wilkins and hit the wall quite hard, but I'm not sure who that was. Yeah, I don't know who that was. That marker of some description. To see Berger going completely backwards the wrong way down Conrod as well. Took out quite a few billboards. spectacular looking crash.
So we'll look here quickly.
Oh, he's back in the pits now, so that was a big enough crash that it
And
needs
McLaren.
repairing.
Actually, he's replaying. Oh, he just lost it in a straight line. That's the strangest thing I've seen.
Spectacular with billboards exploding.
Those tires are shot.
Certainly shot now, unfortunately.
Oh, and almost taking out Hanneke in the process. Oh, he needs to get the car off the track. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, another car went off too.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that hasn't gone down well. Just over 11 minutes remaining now, Judd Watt in control of this race. 3 seconds at a teammate Quake Claessens. Devout now still holding that third position.
Yes, we had a nice dark start, night race start, but it's been clear weather throughout, so a bit rudimentary for Jadwat and Claessens. Experience is shown through on ACC. Next time maybe we'll see a bit of rain, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it's actually interesting that we don't even know. It's not controlled by us. There's no conspiracy theories.
I don't even know.
No, that's what's actually quite good.
Yeah.
We're praying as much as the chat is that it'll rain.
Yeah.
We want it as much as you guys. It is Australia though, and I think there is a little bit of realism built into the algorithm.
Yeah.
So let's be honest, don't get rain in Bathurst.
They got quite a serious drought as well, so this is quite realistic actually.
Yeah, they were very chuffed with their rain the other day, I think. There's a couple of hours from Sydney, Bathurst, isn't it? I went to Sydney, but I've not been that way.
Chris Hanneke, he'll be happy with 4th position if that's what he gets in the end.
I think so, because he certainly didn't qualify that high up, so he's had a very, very tidy, clean race. He'll be very happy with that. First race of the season. First race of the sim. Well, it's not Chris's first race, but it's certainly ours here. PC Holden-Jones in 5th position, that's worth an honourable mention. That's superb drive from him in the Honda. He'll be very happy with that.
Absolutely.
He claimed he had no pace whatsoever, so he'll be getting a bit of stick from Discord channel, I'm sure. Missing his teammate in Devon Lisher this evening. Fortunately, one of our load shed
victims.
Casualties. Yeah. So we've got 9 minutes to go. Just seeing whether S is going to claw back another position, but he's got quite a gap to Rudy Moraes, so Rudy keeps it clean. He can keep his 6th place. However, that might be harder than it looks, because Rudy Moraes' last lap was a 2:06 and Essa was a 2:01. So if he's catching at 5 seconds a lap, I would expect them two to be coming together before the end of the race. I'm showing a 4.8 second gap behind, so yes, those two will be coming together soon, I think. But Nick Hodgson's dropped back to Henry Roux has got him, and they're coming down the mountain straight, very tight to each other, so I'm not sure what happened there. Hodgson's going up the inside. Very surprising that Henry left the inside open there. That's all you have to do on that corner, cover the inside, and that's exactly what he didn't do. You go wide, you'll lose a spot. So just seeing on Esser and Rudy Moraes how much that gap's come down. Quite significantly, I think, but it's not. He's not in the rearview mirror yet, so Rudy might not be too aware from him. Yeah, as they crossed the line, Esser was 3 seconds quicker than Rudy. However, the gap is 8 seconds, so at least 3 laps remaining, and there's only 7 minutes left, so it's going to be very, very close as to whether Esser can actually claw back. Rudy just needs to keep it clean and tidy, and he should be okay for 6th position. So, I mean, it's an incredibly impressive drive from the two Attack Arena drivers in Bashir Jadwa and Craig Clarsons, because they are effectively a third of the lap ahead of the rest of the field. So, very, very impressive and good value for their 1st and 2nd position. I mean, Jadwa is half a lap ahead of Nell in 3rd position. Coming down now to Murray's corner, the final corner. Now still on the mountain pass, only just at the top of the mountain, so huge gap from 2nd to 3rd position. S is a lot quicker now. He's almost on the same piece of tarmac as Rudy. It's just whether he's going to run out of time. Yeah, 4 seconds quicker than Rudy Moraes on that last lap. So these guys are going to come up against each other on their final lap of the race. Of course, it's all down to when Jadwa crosses the finish line, is it? Is it 1 lap after 0?
That's something we're gonna see.
Yeah, I'm not
sure myself, to be honest.
I think is it the lap after 0? Or if he crosses the finish line with a few seconds left, they'll have a whole extra lap.
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah. So Rudy's desperate for Jadwa to cross 1 second after it's gone down to 0, because I think he could be in trouble.
Let's go on board with Essen up, chasing down Rudy Moraes.
It's had a 10-second gap down to 3 seconds in only 3 laps, so it's just whether he's going to run out of time. Only 4 minutes or 3 minutes to go. So great recovery drive from Esser, really. Obviously, we still have absolutely no idea what's happened on that first corner. I think that will be probably looked at after the race, especially with Langeveld actually leaving the server.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll be hearing the end of that, unfortunately.
Probably not.
However, that doesn't stop us from enjoying this final lap or couple of laps of the race as Esser piles on the pressure. He's really caught quickly, so I'm not sure Rudy will put too much of a fight up. He would have been seeing it in his relative, but he got a quick driver catching at 3 seconds a lap. It's not a terrible amount you can do, and obviously Esser's on fresher tyres as well, pitting so late. Coming up the mountain straight into Griffin's Bend. Really just got to cover the inside. doesn't cover the inside, but Essa's not going to make a move. I think Essa will probably bide his time here. Yeah, braking much earlier than I think he's probably used to. Coming up to the S's. Yeah, S's, he's waiting, isn't he? He's waiting for the Conrod straight. He's just staying as tight behind as he possibly can. He'll have for a good exit. He'll be putting a pass in on the chase. See how much tighter Essa takes that corner. That is the quick line. Gives you a better exit. It feels like it shouldn't, but it does. The way that corner's cambered, you want to hug that wall on the inside. Tight up behind Rudy. Rudy's covering the inside. Job done for Essa. So he moves up into 6th position before any race investigations after the race. But thankfully, I'm not the one that has to do those.
I'm the one, yeah.
Yeah. I think you might have a couple, I think, unfortunately. Yeah. Sort of track that it is.
I think it's just a sort of a case of a different sort of starting procedure. Perhaps not everybody was clear on what was going to happen.
100%, yeah.
But we'll look at it.
And overall, I don't think it's been too bad. We haven't seen two super unfortunate incidents. Big mix at big grid as well. So I had on my screen that this is the start of the final lap, apparently.
Okay, let's go to our rest leader, Bashir Jadwat. The ATK Mercedes-Benz. We're going to finish this race at about 1 o'clock local time. Just in time for lunch.
I'm ready for bed.
Absolute summer.
Half 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, great drive from Jadwat. We had a little bit of the only time we saw any sort of mistakes from was after the pit stops, but it was interesting to see Carson's make similar errors after his pit stop as well. So it's just getting used to those tyres. Maybe they're not used to having a mandatory pit stop in their races, because I'm not sure that is the case in the other league that I've seen them race in. It's a bit more of a sprint race scenario. Okay. Might have caught them out a little bit, but here we come, Jadwat coming around the final corner of Murray's corner.
Neither has finished the race.
Here comes Quade Claessens running the final corner to make it an ATK 1-2. Congratulations to the team. Jadwat and Claessens, perfect result for them.
Someone's let off a smoke bomb behind.
Here comes Divot now. Great to see him racing at SimRace South Africa again. Brings a wealth of experience to the league. Yeah.
A long way back though, isn't he? Top of the mountain still, so he's got 174 metres of drop to cope with. But it'll feel good to get a podium, I'm sure. Great drive.
So now we'll get 3rd position.
Heineke's almost finishing his run, delivering his shopping. Final exit onto Conrod Straight. He's happy, he's flashing his lights already, so I think he's definitely happy.
I'm sure he'll be thrilled with that. Moving side to side as well in the celebration.
Please don't bin it, Chris. Weaving on the main straight. Yeah, he's very chuffed with 4th place. Well done, Chris.
Oh, McLaren getting in the way of it. But Heineke will get 4th position.
Obviously, Pilder Gelnes, Rudy Moraes, Mark van Rensburg have already crossed the line.
Yeah.
So those places are sealed as 5th, 6th, 7th. Nick Hodgson in 8th. Henry Rowe, great drive also from 9th. Chris Wilkins now coming over to complete the top 10. Also on debut, very good. He obviously had a few little mishaps, beached a bit on the curb, which didn't help, but still got a top 10 finish, so well done to him.
Yeah. Comes Jason Isherwood, and I think he's coming to get 11th position. Yes, good result for him. Well, thanks very much, Daniel. I think it was a good first race in the Sette Corse Competizione League.
Yeah, thanks for bearing with us, everyone.
Yeah.
We'll only get better, but yeah, brilliant. Nice to see a new sim. Looking forward to the next one. Weather, surely next time, Suzuka, bring it on.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll polish off the rough edges for the second race at Suzuka. But we got the round 2 of the GDC challenge, the Sette Corse leg of the South African Sim GD series, and that'll be in 2 weeks' time at Kyalami. So don't miss that one. And still taking sign-ups. I think we are over 60 sign-ups now for the season, and looking forward to seeing that keep growing. But that's a wrap on this evening's racing. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and looking forward to the next one. Cheers, goodbye.